Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to our Saturday morning Dream Team Hour of Power. Whoop, whoop. So great to have you guys on. And hey, I want to acknowledge you because obviously here in Australia, it's winter and it's a tad cold and, it's dark in the morning. And so I acknowledge all of you who are here on live because you actually got your butts out of bed. I think we've all got our coffees to warm up and wake up, but you're here on this call. And so I want to talk a little bit today about what does it really take to be a success in this business. And then actually what we're going to do today, it's a little bit different. And the people who are watching the replay, a big shout out to you guys. You are going to have FOMO, which is fear of missing out. You are absolutely going to have FOMO that you weren't on this call live today because we're going to do a little hot seat. And Kath Barker and Sue Cooper, who are both on live, they're used to my hot seats. They've been in rooms when I have been doing business coaching to groups. And basically we go around the room and basically we share your highlight for the week so we can celebrate you, or your win for the week so we can celebrate you. And you're also going to share your biggest frustration, challenge, problem, the thing that's holding you back from building your business. And then I'm actually going to give you some live coaching and training. So I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. One, I want to reward those of you who've actually rocked up live to make sure that I can add the best value I can. And thank you for being on this call. But the other thing is talking about, getting out of your comfort zone and what you have to do to be successful. I woke up to messages from our CEO, Mark Smith, this morning, who's asked me to be one of the trainers on our DTA, our DreamTrips Academy call, which of course starts at midnight our time. So I think I'm on about 2:00 in the morning. I seem to deliver my best training at 2 a.m. our time. But again, I'm sharing that, one, because when you're a leader, you need to show up, and sometimes you have to show up at times that may be inconvenient. But the second thing is, if you guys are having certain challenges, then probably the rest of our company and IBOs are having those same challenges. So I'm actually drawing from you guys to determine what I'm going to be training on this evening or tomorrow morning in the early hours of the day. So first and foremost, I wanted to just talk about what does it really take to be successful in this business. Now, I have been part of DreamTrips for about 8.5 years. As you all know, I was part of the legacy company. With COVID, it all got shut down because no one was traveling, borders were shut, which was very sad. I remember I actually flew from Brisbane to Cairns and I did a trip up to Palm Cove, and it was so weird. It was like being in a movie. Even the night before, I stayed in Brisbane and I was walking down the main street of Brisbane, Queen Street, standing in the middle of the road, and like the city was empty. There was no one there. It was just like one of those surreal scenes in a movie. And, that was our life for 3 years, right? It totally disrupted the whole world. And we are so grateful that now that borders are open and we can start flying again. So for me, Punta Cana next month, and I'm so excited that I get to do that trip with Chris and Kath, who are both here on live with us. Plus we've got Alison, Jeff, and Jacob, who I think gets back off his cruise today. I think Jacob travels more than the rest of us put together for an 18-year-old. How amazing is that? Well, Sue, don't be jealous. We could still make it happen. You could still come with us. But that's going to be my 5th dream trip with the new company, with DreamTrips International, which, of course, bought out the old legacy company as we relaunched. So I love that. Sue says, not that rich yet. I like that you put the yet on the end. So that's actually part of what I want to talk about today, Sue, with what does it really take to be successful. So what I'm going to talk... I don't necessarily like the word. I just saw that, Kat. We're going to have oceans of money. Absolutely. We love oceans of money. There's a backstory to that. So I guess we'll talk rich mindset, poor mindset. I don't really like the terms rich and poor, but or maybe we could call it amateur mindset versus pro mindset. That's probably a better context for this particular call. Andy, it's so lovely to see your face, beautiful. That color just suits you. I love that reddy orange color. It's gorgeous. I had to pastel tone down my personality today. So, all right. So amateur versus pro. So the number one thing that most people do when they start this business is they join, but typically they'll join because they want something, or they don't want something. So we all do things for one of two reasons. We do it for pleasure or to avoid pain. So when you said yes to joining DreamTrips, you either joined because you wanted to have something, or you joined because you didn't want to have something. You're avoiding something. So I want you to just get present to perhaps what that is for a moment. Now, some of you, maybe you wanted to have more holidays, you wanted to have more money, you wanted to have more time, or maybe you didn't want to have the job that sucks the life out of your soul. Maybe you didn't want to have the bank account that has more week left at the end of the money, or maybe you didn't want to have the lifestyle, the car, the whatever the circumstances are. Maybe you didn't want to have I have to say no to my kids all the time because I wanted to be the yes mum or the yes dad. So then we go, okay, so we want to have this. So to have this, I now need to do something. I've got to go to, Mira says, all of the above. I love it. I love it. So we want to have this thing. So that's our carrot. And now I say, okay, so now we've got to go do something. So what have we got to do? Well, we've got to do the dirty R word. We've got to go recruit people. Oh no, I've got to go sell my family and friends. Oh gosh, I've got to be one of those people. Oh geez, it's network marketing. Oh crap. And all of a sudden, all of this stuff starts to come up, right? Because we're in that amateur mindset. So what's the stuff that's coming up for you that's stopping you from doing the things that you know you need to do to be successful in this business? Because let's face it, to be a success in this business is actually really freaking simple. We literally pull out our phone. We don't even send a 5-minute video anymore. We send a video that's 3 minutes and 51 seconds. Like that's it. And how long does it take to send a video? Like 10 seconds? Let's call it a minute. Let's call it a minute. 1 minute to send a video to somebody to watch a video, and they're going to say yes or no. And then you get myself or Chris or Kath or one of our leaders, Jeff, one of our leaders on a call with you to help you close out and sign up your people. So 1 minute. So this is built for busy people who have no time. We have a system. You don't even have to figure it out. Chris, Kath, myself, we are entrepreneurs. We've been in business most of our lives. I've been in business now, self-employed since 2004. Like, is that nearly 30 years? I can't even know, 25, 20 years. I don't know. It's a lot of time anyway. It's a significant chunk. You don't have to be great at maths to be an entrepreneur. Chris might beg to differ. That's why I have Chris in my life. Chris is the money man who does all the maths. I'm just the one who talks to people. You need a Chris in your life. Exactly, Kath. We all need a Chris. So it's a long time, right? So stop laughing at me, Mira. Kath, you're gonna have to pull me back. I've I've got mum disease. Can't remember a freaking thing. I've gone completely off on a tangent now. Where was I going with that? Self-employed, long time, blah, 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 blah. I've completely lost track. I got caught up in the story. You should never get so caught up in the story that you get off track. Okay, anyway. So what we need to do. Thank you, Mira. So we literally just have to send the video. That's it. And it takes no time. So it's not like you have to figure out the systems. It's not like you have to create the video. It's not like you have to do presentations. You literally send a 3 minute and 51 second video to people and say, are you in? Yes or no? Like, or get them on a call with one of us and we can do that for you. So it's super simple. So then what happens? Why are we not doing that? Like literally the people who are successful just send more videos every single day than you. They're not getting more yeses than you. They're getting more yeses than you, but they're actually getting more no's than you. And it's just like going to a restaurant and the waiter says to you, hey, would you like dessert? Would you like to see the dessert menu? You say yes or no. If they say yes, awesome, here's the menu. If you say no, okay, no worries. And they move on to the next table. Whereas when we say the video, are you in or you out? Like people then go, well, funky and crazy. Like, stop it. Because that's all amateurish stuff. But if you do happen to keep sharing the video and you start getting some yeses, and then all of a sudden, you get to be what? You get to be happy. You get to be successful. You get to be one of the top leaders in this business. But that whole approach that I've just shared with you is actually upside down, and it's the amateur approach. So let me now flip it and tell you what, and I know Kath is definitely going to know what I'm going to share. No, you don't. Oh, I thought you were onto me. So an amateur comes in because they want to have something. So they're going to do something to get what they want. And then they're going to be, so when you joined up to have something, how are you going to feel when you get that? Are you going to be happy? Like, are you going to be free? Are you going to be excited? Like, what's the feeling? And think about like top leaders in the company. So how are they being? Because here's the thing. For you to actually be one of the top leaders, you have to be before you are. You have to be before you are and you will become. I'm sure you've all heard that quote before. So it doesn't start with, I'm joining because I want to have or because I don't want to have. We actually have to completely flip that and say, for me to be one of the top leaders in this company, or for me to be successful in this company, for me to build a massive travel community and have 10,000 US or more a month in passive income, who do you have to be? Because that's where it starts. Do you have to be happy? Do you have to be excited? Do you have to be disciplined? Do you have to be organized? Do you have to be, what is your thing? Do you have to be responsible? Do you have to be consistent? Do you have to be positive? Like, hit me up in the chat. What are some of the words? Sue's gone, bing, light bulb moment. Because when you focused on the have, exactly, you have to be a leader. So look at who the successful leaders are. So, okay, Chris and I are the two top leaders for the entire Oceania region. We're both two of the top global leaders in the whole company. So how are we showing up? How are we being different to what you're doing? And maybe it's just that we're further down the road than you are, that we've just, I've been in this for 8.5 years. Chris has now been in this for about 18 months. So maybe it's just that we're exactly become who you want to attract. Be the leader that you're looking for. So if you get frustrated at myself or Chris or Martin Ruoff or Mark and Tammy, well, be that leader that you're looking for. And there's a really good book. It's called GoPro by Eric Worre. And it's not GoPro as in the video camera. It's GoPro as in become a professional, go professional, go pro. And it teaches you how to go pro within the network marketing industry. And it's a really great book. Eric Worre specializes in training for network marketing leaders. And he talks about firing your upline, because a lot of people think that they need the right upline to be successful. You can actually join with anyone, because your success is on you, because you're going to be responsible for your success. So what is the being that you're going to take on? So I want you to now look at, okay, if you got paid for the rest of your time in DreamTrips based on who you were being this week, this past week, what would your paycheck look like? And I'm guessing for most of you, it would probably suck, because everyone says they want to have blah, but then they don't do what they need to do. Why? Because you're not being who you need to be. Because when you choose, I'm going to be a certain way. So I know, so for Kath and I, Kath has had a house full of visitors this week. Her whole life has been out of the normal routine. And one of the things that Kath and I committed to was to be healthy, because we know that successful leaders are healthy. And when you're healthy, it's incredible how much more productive you are. It's incredible how much more you can get done, right? So we chose to give up alcohol and do dry July. We chose to exercise. So, we go out. We haven't been so great in the mornings, but I don't know if you saw our Facebook post. Oh my goodness. Our sunset walk last night, you would have thought we were in Santorini or Greek islands. It was just absolutely stunning. So what are you being? Because if you choose to be healthy, well, then you're going to do whatever actions are consistent with that. So to be healthy, we're going to drink water and we're going to exercise every day and we're going to be better with our food and we're going to reduce sugar because we chose to be a certain way, which is to be healthy. So I want you to now really take a good look at yourself and kind of do this as a little self-check, a self-audit. Who are you being that's not consistent with what you want, that's not consistent with where you want to be? It's not consistent with what you want to have. So, for me, just being really honest, but, since I moved to early, we call it early alcoholics, I drank way too much alcohol. So I wasn't being responsible around my health. And that has an impact. It really does. So I want you to think about who are you being and what are you doing that's not consistent? Because sometimes you've actually got to stop doing the things that are taking you further away from your goals to actually create the space to allow you to do what you need to do. Now, we know that this business, you could literally build in 5 minutes a day because you can send out 5 videos a day in 5 minutes. You could build this business. Everyone laughs when I say this. You could build this business sitting on the loo while you're doing a number 2 in 5 minutes a day. If you want to take your phone to the loo with you, like literally, that's all you got to do. That's it. But you got to be consistent. You got to be consistent and you got to do that every day. And you've got to be resilient because there are going to be people who go, what's that freaking thing you're doing? Oh my God, you're one of those people. You've got to be able to have the water off the duck's back. You've got to, stop being so caught up and stressed and upset and worried about what other people think about you because other people's opinions of you are not going to put money in your bank account. You've got to be resilient. You've got to be resourceful. So who are you being? That's the first thing. You've got to be consistent, be disciplined, be responsible, be all of those amazing things. So maybe just choose your top 3 or 5, or maybe you're just going to choose one to take on this week. Maybe your biggest thing is you are completely unorganized and life's a mess. Well, maybe you're just going to choose to be organized this week and, map out your week, have a plan, know what you're actually going to do. That would be a really great thing, right? All leaders are organized, so be organized. Maybe you get fired up on Saturday mornings from these calls and you go and you do your hour of power and then that's it for the week. So maybe you need to be consistent. Or, I don't know what your word is, but you got to choose something. So I actually choose a word every year. So for me, of course, I'm KickAss Kylie. This year I decided I had to get back to being KickAss. And so that's my theme for this year is kick-ass. It's a kick-ass year. I'm going to kick ass in all areas of my life. So what's your word that you're going to take on? There's a program called Landmark Education. I know we've got a few Landmark graduates on the call, which is great. And when you do the advanced course, you actually get to create yourself as a possibility. So who I am is the possibility of power and inspiration. So every day I show up powerfully. It's not about... Yes, it's about being powerful, but it's reclaiming my power, standing in my power, not being disempowered by other people or things or circumstances or stuff that comes at me. So maybe that's your word, powerful. And I also choose inspiration. I love to inspire others to be better than they are, to be the best versions of themselves, to have the best life so that they can create whatever is possible, whatever it is that they want for their life. So who are you going to be this week? And then write that word everywhere. Freaking write it on your hand. Put it up on your mirror. Put it next to your bed. Put it where you make your coffee. Like have that word pop up on your phone and your calendar every hour. Like set alarms so that it's constantly in your face because it takes 21 days to create new habits. It takes 21 days to break old habits. Who are you going to be? So one of the things that I chose to become the leader that I am, is I chose to be the make it happen queen. I chose to be unstoppable. I chose that I would be someone that wouldn't just take a no. When someone tells me no, I go, I'm not accepting that no. How can we do that? And so I get told no all the time. And I just like, no, I want this. How can I make that happen? And what it does is it has you be resourceful. It has you think outside the square, because you can actually have anything you want in your life right now. The only reason you don't have it is either you don't believe that you can have it, you don't believe in yourself, or you don't believe it's possible, and you just don't figure out a way. So it's asking the right questions. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your questions. I even had Mark and Tammy come back to me this week and say no for something. And I went back and coached them, went, I'm not accepting your no. How can we do this? Like, what's the solution? We can focus on the problem and say no, or we can focus on the solution of what we want to say. How can we create that? What have we got to do to make that happen? What would it look like? Like, I have someone, I won't call that person out. I have someone who I am a stand that they are coming on the Punta Cana trip. Now it's closed and they're not booked on the trip, but I've created the possibility that that person is going to be on the Punta Cana trip with us. I've already reached out to Dom, who runs the whole call center, and said, hey, we're not going to know until about midday Monday, but this person's a single share. We could put this person in with that person. If I let you know by this time on Monday, can we get that person added to the trip? So I've already created that to see if it's possible. And the answer was, we can't really, but because it's you, okay, sure. So then I've gone back to the person and said, I'm creating the possibility that you're going to be on that trip. Now, this person was like, I cannot be on that trip. I'm like, you have to be on that trip. It's my mission to get you on that trip, but it's closed. I don't care. I've already created that. And what would it take for you to be on that trip? And I said, well, I would need this. Okay, great. I can work with that, right? But the problem is most people aren't willing to have those conversations to be absolutely like, I'm going to make this happen to get there, because they get every single little thing just takes them off the path. They just give up too quick. It's like, oh. And most people don't even ask in the first place because they're too scared that the answer is going to be no. But if you don't ask, the answer is going to be no anyway, right? So I want you to like really look at yourself and just see how often you're being stopped, and look at why is that? Because it's how you're being. Maybe you're being scared. Maybe you're coming from a place of fear and scarcity instead of that love and abundance and possibility. Like, I'm telling you, I'm the queen of anything's impossible. The amount of shit that I've been able to create in the last, well, my whole life, but specifically in the last 12 months, like, this house is a fucking miracle. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear. This house, I've been really conscious of not swearing lately, but it just popped out. This house, the tree house, is an absolute miracle. Kath was my buyer's agent and my bestie through this process. Chris, I rang every single day in tears, mostly, with all of the stuff, all the obstacles. But I was so damn determined to make it happen. Yeah, exactly. Who wrote that? Kath. How badly do you want it? Like, you don't just get life handed to you on a platter. You got to make it happen. And you got to be determined and willing and hungry and all of the things to actually get there. So I promise you it's freaking worth it. I'm not even where I want to be yet, but I'm absolutely on the journey. And then you got to look at what's holding you back. And Kath and I were having this conversation last night on our walk, is that our circle of friends is changing. Who we were hanging out with 18 months ago is, before DreamTrips relaunched, is actually quite different to who we're hanging out with now. Now, we've got our core people are still all, we're still all here. We're still together. Most of you are on this call. But there's certain people who are no longer part of our life. And the new people that we're attracting into our life, like, blows my mind. Exactly. We're vibrating at a higher level, because here's the thing. You're going to become an average of the 6 people that you spend the most amount of time with. So they're either lifting you up or elevating you, or they're on the journey with you, or they're pulling you back down like crabs in the bucket. If you put crabs in the bucket and one crab tries to jump out, all the other crabs will pull the crab back down into the bucket. And if that crab continues to crawl out, they will start biting off limbs and eventually they will kill it so that it won't escape out of the bucket. And it's the same with your friends, your family, people in your life who you know, love, and trust. When you up level and decide, I've had enough, I want more, I want a better life, I want to be a better person, I want a bigger bank account, I want blah, 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 blah. You have to become a different person or life will stay the same. And you will become an average of who you hang out with. So if you can't change your friends, you got to change your friends. I'm going to say that again. If you can't change your friends, you got to change your friends. Now, I'm not saying that you need to, get rid of all your friends, because that's not what it's about, but it's about making sure that your friends are in alignment with who you want to be. So I had to have a look at my circle of friends even just 6 months ago. And I was hanging out with a bunch of broke people who all they did was party. They partied freaking hard. Guess what? I became one of those. And I'm not proud of that. But I'm also human. I'm not perfect. And this isn't something that you do once. This is a continuous thing. So another thing Kath and I are doing at the moment, we're doing a thing called the Minimalist Project. And it's about decluttering and getting rid of the shit out of your life to create space, which then creates space for abundance to flow in. And Kath walked into my house the other day and she's like, I don't know what you've done, but like your kitchen looks amazing. Like my kitchen needs to be renovated. It's not a pretty kitchen, I can tell you. But I had decluttered. I got rid of a heap of shit. And it was probably only half a dozen things, but it just had a completely different energy about the space. So how much clutter have you got in your house? How much clutter have you got in your brain? Like you got to get rid of that shit because it's weighing you down. So in the Minimalist Project, day 1, you get rid of one thing. Day 2, you get rid of 2 things. Day 3, you get rid of 3 things, and so forth until day 30, you get rid of 30 things. And it becomes like you start looking, go, oh my gosh, I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to get, and then you find that you're hanging on to things. Like I was saying to Kath yesterday with my wardrobe, I was hanging on to stuff, and that's just fear and scarcity. It's scarcity because for the last 3 years as a single mum, I haven't had a lot of money, and I've had to be really mindful of every cent that I spent. But by hanging on to that stuff, I was actually in fear and scarcity. And as soon as I acknowledged that this week, I went, oh my God, that's it. I'm freaking getting rid of all of it. It's all going. I'm going to buy a whole new wardrobe. All of a sudden, things started to shift. Well, I just spent $500 on new rockwear this week to actually get some nice new, gym stuff that I can wear. And it's just like, oh my goodness, but that wouldn't have happened if I didn't create that space by doing that Minimalist Project. So again, who are you being? Because that is what's going to shift all of this. So hello, Luke. Our buddy from Dari. Oh my goodness, he is so gorgeous. We love it when we go on dream trips. So you might want to be fun. Maybe you're not being fun enough. Maybe you need to be excited. My car number plate is be excited, to remind me every day. Chris says, you don't need any more excitement, Coles. We've got enough excitement from you. But again, you've got to look at who you're being, and something has to shift, because if nothing changes, nothing changes. So that's the first thing. And then once you're being a certain way, you're then going to take actions that are consistent with that. And so then once you take actions that are consistent with that, guess what? Magically, you will have all of the things or stuff that you want to have. You'll have the life that you want. You'll have the bank account that you want. You'll have the passive income that you want. You'll have, did I say the house, the car, the friends, the lifestyle, everything that you want, but we had to flip it. So a pro starts with, who am I going to be? And then when you're being that way, what are the actions that you need to take? And then what is it that you want? So it's really important that you also do have a vision board, but it's not just about the stuff that you want. You want to also remind yourself, who are you going to be? And what are the actions that you're going to take? So that's really super important. Okay. So has that helped today? Has anyone got some gold nuggets from that? I know I haven't taught you how to go build the business, but at the end of the day, your business and your life is a reflection of you. So you got to work on you. I did a program called Money in You, and everyone goes there because they want more money. But as they say, your bank account is a reflection of you. So you have to change, and you got to work on you before you're going to get the money. It's why when most people win lotto, within like a very short period of time, they're all broke again, because they don't have the mindset. They're not being the person that can handle $1 million. You got to manage the money that you got now to then attract more money into your bank account. So that's super important. And when you get tested, when you get the no's, just I'm not accepting that. Like, you've actually got to raise your vibration and raise your standards for your life, that you want bigger, that you want better, that you want more, because otherwise you're just going to stay stuck down at that level that you don't want. Okay, so be, do, have, not have, do, be. That's the biggest switch that I can share to be successful in this business. Alrighty, so what I now want to do is, one at a time, I would love for you to share. And so what have we got? It's 7:37. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 of you. So 20 minutes. So if we kind of do like, say, 3 minutes each-ish, I would love for you to share what's been your win for the week, so that we can acknowledge you and celebrate that with you. And it's really important that you all look for your win, because often we're so damn focused on what's not working. And again, what you focus on expands. So if you jump on and tell me, oh, blah, 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 all this negative crap, then that's going to expand in your life. So we want to start with the win. So what's your win that we can celebrate you for and acknowledge you for? And then what's your number one block, challenge, frustration thing that you would love some help, support, or coaching with, to be able to progress forward with your business and your life? So Kath Barker, KB, I am going to pick on you first, because I know that you've done this process with me many times. So if you would like to unmute, and I know most people know who you are, but if you want to just share a quick who you are, where you're from, and then what's your win?
Okay, hi everyone. Good morning. I am Kath Barker, KB, and I live here in the beautiful Whitsundays with my husband Dan and my little doggy, who's fast asleep on on the bed behind me. I've been living in the Whitsundays for about 18 months this time. I had lived here previously back in the 80s and 90s when I worked on my dad's charter yacht. So that was pretty cool. I've decided to come home, so this is home for me. So yeah, I've been in business for a long time. Just as Kylie mentioned, we're a lot of us are entrepreneurs here, so I've been in business a long time, and I still, get value out of these calls, because you forget, you might know these things, and then it's like, oh, that's right, it's a reminder. So my wins and challenges this week. So I've had a couple of wins actually. The first one was booking our trip to Punta Cana. Now, this was not something that was a possibility for me. It was not going to happen. And I thought, right, okay, I need a certain figure in my bank account. How am I going to make that happen? And it's amazing when you put things out there and ask for the money, it appears. So obviously my husband's had a little bit to do with that this week. We have got a space downstairs in our home. I'm sorry, I've got 3 minutes, haven't I? We've got a space downstairs in our home that we have been turning into an Airbnb, and there was just a few little finishing touches that we needed to finish up so that we could actually list it. So what I did was actually list it, and then it was like, oh gosh, we've got bookings now, we have to finish it. So that was a really great way to get some money in. So that was a good thing. I could book my Punta Cana trip. Now, the second thing that I have had a win with this week is not drinking. So for me, anyone who knows me, I love my champagne. I will drink bottles of the stuff every day. So for me, not drinking this week has been a massive, massive win. I'm really proud of myself that we're doing this dry July. I'm really taking control of my health, and I'm feeling really good for it. Okay, my challenges. So my personal time this week has been compromised, I suppose. My husband's about to do a massive trip across Australia on his motorbike unassisted with a couple of mates. It is a huge venture, many months in the planning, and they're heading off on Monday. But this week, because of that, we've had a house full of people, and my personal time and my personal space has been compromised. So that has been a massive challenge for me. I know after Monday, once he goes, then things will be back into the flow again, and I'll be able to get back on track with my DreamTrips business and do some more recruiting. But that's me in a nutshell this week.
Amazing. Thank you, KB. So Kath and her hubby have a building company. So they have been, how long have you had your building company for?
Since 2003.
So 20 years, is that 20 years? Yeah, 20 years.
20 years.
Long time. Yeah. And Kath was also working as she's been a very successful real estate agent on the Gold Coast as well. So I really love, what Kath just shared is Kath had a desire. She wanted to have the opportunity to go on that trip to Punta Cana, but didn't have the money in her account to make it happen. So Kath asked herself a better question: how can I do that? And that's, again, I said to Kath, like, what have we got to do to make it happen? Well, I need the $6,000 to be able to make that trip work. And so it's okay, well, how can we create that $6,000 of income between now and then to be able to do that? And we actually had a whole bunch of options, right, Kath, when we had that conversation. So Kath was offered some work from different people, but if she accepted that work, then that would have given her the income, but then she still would have had no time, which was already Kath's challenge. So that was one option that was going to help with the dollar side, but it wasn't going to help with the time challenge. So it fixed one problem, but created another problem. The Airbnb, it wasn't ready to be listed, but Kath listed that, I think you said from like 6 weeks out or something. So then it gave Kath a deadline or a time frame. So goals and dreams without a deadline, like it's never going to happen. It's just a wish. So you got to put a time frame on things. It's like, when you go on holidays and you have to get stuff done before you go away, it's amazing how productive you are and how much you can get done in a really short compressed space of time versus when you have all the time in the world to get stuff done, it never happens. So I love that you, number one, said, I'm going to be on that trip. I don't know how it's going to work, but we're going to figure that out, which you did. And then with the Airbnb, it wasn't ready to go, but you said, right, we're putting it online. We're listing it with that window of time. So now you've got a deadline of when that has to be finished to be able to do that. And you've already got like 3 or 4 listings, right?
We got another inquiry last night. So the first people are coming in this next week. So.
Wow,
yeah,
that's amazing. And
crazy.
So, and I know when we spoke the other day, you'd already like paid for nearly half the trip just with those first few bookings that had come through. So every single one of you, like, it's about being resourceful. Kath was just being resourceful and saying, okay, well, how can we do this? What have we got available? And Kath had a space downstairs that she was able to create that. Maybe you've got a space that you can do that. So challenge, so time. So let me ask you, because I know I can be pretty direct with you, KB, not having time this week, is that the truth or is that a story?
Oh, it's absolutely a story.
So do you want to share what that means for everybody? So what I've just done, everyone, as a coach, is I've just called Kath out on her bullshit.
Yeah. Thanks, Carl.
I love you. I love you. That's why you're first. Everyone else has gone, shit, I'm not going to go now.
So the truth is, yes, my life has been a little bit crazy this week, but I also could have said, okay, people, I know that you're in my house, and I could have actually said, look, I need an hour each day to make my calls or do whatever it needed to be done. But I haven't done that. So I've allowed that story of me having people in my house and having all these things going on in the background. I've allowed that to stop me doing what I should have been doing.
Yeah. And so for everyone, you can have results or excuses, but you can't have both. So Cass used the circumstances and the time as an excuse, but that was just a story she created in her head that she couldn't do stuff, but she actually could have. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I love, hey,
100%.
and I love that you've taken responsibility for that. So thank you for doing that. So what's the new possibility that you can create?
I could spend an hour this morning making calls or sending the 5-minute bit, 3 minute video.
So you could, or you will, or you are. Awesome. Thank you, beautiful. Was that helpful for you?
Oh, for me, yes, thank you, always.
Amazing.
That's why I love you.
I love you too. Okay, so Mira, I know you're driving lovely, so I just thought I would go to you first because I know that you're on your way to work. Are you able to unmute? Are you cool?
Yes, I've just done that, I think.
Okay, if you want to just do a quick hello intro and share what's been your greatest win and challenge, that would be amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, hi, I'm Mira. I'm in Bundaberg, Queensland, about 400 k's north of Brisbane. And I'm the mom of a nearly 8-year-old and a 21-year-old daughter. And I really want to build dream trips to just create a different life, better lifestyle, go on travel, and create that passive income, definitely. My biggest win this week is, it sounds weird, but I dared to call in sick for work. I was totally overwhelmed. I was so sick. I have not been sick. Anyway, I can't remember last 4 years to call in sick. So I called in sick Monday, which was big. And it was kind of like a win. Yeah. And it also gave me a lot of reflection because I took on a second hospitality job. I'm already working full time. On my days off, I'm now at the local tavern. And I go like, what the hell am I doing? I've got this online business waiting for me to smash out, which is indeed really quite simple. And I'm not spending the time on it because I take on more bar and bistro shifts. Like, really? That just doesn't make any sense. And then I had to call in sick for my regular job because I made too many hours in my second job. And meanwhile, haven't sent one video out for DTI. So big aha moment and realization, just so big. And another big win is there's tough stuff in the background with the father of my child. And I have become firmer, also thanks to people like you and inspirational stories like all yours. So that was just learning from others is a big win for me, and keep checking in with you guys. Like, even though I haven't sent one video this week, I knew I had to be here right now at 7 a.m. And now another big win is what you said with the money will appear when you, how badly do you want it? I need to go to my mom in Holland. And yesterday, one of my best friends said, I'll pay for your ticket, don't care when you pay me back. So last night was decided I go to my mom on the 2nd of August to the Netherlands. Oh my God.
Wow.
Like, and I had a sleepless night over it because I got to organize shitloads here in Bundaberg to be able to get away because Luke is not coming. So huge wins. And with this setting me up as a better person in my personal life, I will be better in my business life, if that makes sense. Personal, professional, you know? Yeah. So that's that.
Oh wow, that's
Thanks for
huge.
your time.
I really acknowledge you, babe. That's amazing.
Yeah. And I already looked up some email addresses while I was in the bathroom to send out videos today. And another big win is I have a daily pledge for my non-drinking. I thought I need a daily pledge. I like that word, a bit different than affirmation. I need a daily pledge with DTI. Yeah. And hold myself accountable 2 times a day as I do with the no drinking pledge. Yeah.
Love that. And you can create anything around that. So mine is I'm the top income earner in the fastest growing team in DreamTrips, and I'm the leader that other leaders are looking for. So that's my DreamTrips declaration, I call it, or pledge. So
Awesome.
what could you create around that for yourself?
Is that a question I need to answer now?
Yeah. Oh, you don't have to answer it right now, but if there's something what
could I create for myself? I think the consistency, like with the pledge, will also come consistently because you constantly realize, oh, I promised that to myself. I'm accountable to myself and others, but I'm not doing anything. So for me, it's really the consistency, because thank you for making me aware that it's really quite simple doing this, because I have kind of like a few blocks there. Yeah. What's she doing now? We spoke about that before. I'm dealing with that. It's all good. But yeah, it's definitely consistency. If I just sent out 5 videos a day, who cares that 5 times 7, 34 people would say no. The one says yes. You know, that's a big win. So I think consistency is my biggest thing. Just show up as a consistent, I don't know, email sent outer. I don't know. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Tell me, what are the type of people that you'd like to attract into your travel community, Mira?
Oh, I want to have fun, exciting, extroverted, positive, happy, vibrant people. And I have been attracting in my other business kind of like the opposite of what I wanted to attract, because I didn't have clarity around that. And it's like really draining to deal with people on another energy level. So I would like people with kind of like the same energy level, same vibe, even though I'm open to everyone, because I believe everybody deserves to know about this, for me to really work with them and build a team of, you know, the people that I want to attract. I think I should narrow down my focus.
Lovely. So, and Mary, you don't have to use this, but I've just listened to what you shared, and I've put, I am consistent sharing 5 videos for DTI every single day and building a community of fun and excited, happy, vibrant travelers who are high vibe.
Oh, love it. I better make a screenshot of that before I leave you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I can. Don't you do that because you're driving, but I can definitely
do on the country roads. Don't worry. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And did you have a challenge that you wanted to share, or did we kind of cover all of that in that little?
Do I have a challenge? Yeah, the consistency is my challenge.
Yeah, gotcha.
Because I've been sick. I realized I could still do work on my laptop, which I did for my other biz, which was my most successful week since a year, last week, while I was unwell. So I did show up, but I really want to do DTI. So challenge, consistency. Yeah.
I love it. Do I have permission to give you one more little piece of coaching?
Oh, please. Yeah.
Awesome. So this is really important for everyone, guys. Mira's actually said something twice in her share that as a coach is like alarm bells in my ear, and I've waited, because what happens when you're a coach or a mentor leader, you can't tell people stuff. You got to listen, because they're going to share what's going on. And sometimes it's we don't know what we don't know. So Mira has a blind spot that she doesn't know about. And so Mira said twice now, I want to build DreamTrips to blah, blah, blah. It's a bit like saying, I'm going to try and make it. When you put in the word try, it's lying. Like if I've got a pen, like try and drop the pen. Like I can't try and drop it. I either hold it or I drop it. Like you can't try and drop it. Trying is lying. And it's the same, I want to build, or I would like to build. Well, if you want to, or I would like to, that's different to I am. So I am building. I am taking action, not I would like to take action. So it's the same as adding in that trying. So you've said that a couple of times, I would like to, or I want to, versus I am doing. Does that make sense?
Oh, totally. Thank you for giving that feedback, because I really need it. Because indeed, blind spot. Yeah.
And we all have those blind spots. So rather than me saying I want to be, because if I say I want to be the top income earner, I'm telling my brain that I'm not that. Versus I am the #1 income earner in the fastest growing team in DreamTrips. I'm telling my brain I am that, and therefore I'm going to take actions that are consistent with that. And if you keep telling yourself something, eventually that's what you will become. Yeah, because thoughts become things. Amazing. All right, Mira, thank you, beautiful, for sharing. Love and appreciate you. And I know that we're running out of time, so I'm going to speed up. Oh, yep.
Thank you. Bye. Sure. Bye. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, Andy, I can see you on camera. So you're up, beautiful lady. So just give us a quick intro, win, and challenge.
Hey everyone, I'm Andy. I'm on the Sunshine Coast. I've come across from Enagic, and I'm looking at building the DreamTrip business. Probably a win that I had this week was that I found out that it's really easy to share this business. I sort of was struggling with Enagic and other things to promote or to share. But this is just it's just easier, much easier to share than I've been able to share anything else. Another win would be my fear to step out and do new things or try new things. So I'm a bit of a safe person and try to sort of stick to what I know in my comfort zone. So I've stepped right out of my comfort zone this week, and probably something that's holding me back is or was my fear, because I've chatted to you already about this, Kylie, coming from Enagic into a new business and worrying about what people will think with jumping from one to another. Yeah, but now I have both businesses, so it's just an added extra. Probably just fear of being seen as well, not feeling like I know enough about business because I've never been in business before. I've always sort of worked for somebody else, and I'm wanting to break out of that cycle. So that's probably mine for this week.
I love that. I love that. So I just want to kind of word that fear. So fear of people's opinions or judgment from others of I've jumped out of this business into another. And Mira, I'd love to connect you to lovely ladies together because Mira is also in a SEA. So she had that exact same fear. So she started off with her story of saying, well, I'm building this business for my daughter Isa, who loves to travel, because I have my ASEA business. And she had that exact same thing. And she got that the other day, and she came to our Gari dream trip and she's like, I love traveling. I want to travel. I want to build this business for me. And she had to actually have that. Now, the other thing that I gave coaching to Mira, which is the same with you, is you still believe in Enagic as a product. I've got a K8 Kangen water machine. So does Chris. We love Kangen water. Like, I hate it when I go away and I don't have Kangen water. It's an amazing product, but it's not the business that I want to build. And same as you, we have that business for life. I can still refer people in. If someone wants a machine, yeah, great. I refer them to the people who introduced me, which we're all got the same person that we were affiliated with, which is hilarious. I would still refer someone. If Cass said to me tomorrow, you know what, Kyle, I need one of these machines, I go, great. I'm going to flick you off to these people and they will take great care of you and I'll still get a commission. Like, awesome. But it's not the business I'm actively promoting because I love travel. I'm Little Miss Dream Trips and I want to travel any other way. But if you are doing both, and you can do both, obviously you need to be compliant. But in Mira's case, she said, well, I use the SEA because I love the product. It's good for my health. I've seen incredible results, but I'm not getting the income I want from that. I love to travel. My daughter loves to travel, and I need to create a passive income. And you may have seen me do both things. And if you want to judge me for that, well, hey, that's totally cool. But how many jobs have you ever had in your life? I bet you it's more than one. Like, I'm not judging you because you've had multiple jobs. Like, you know, I love both products. I'm passionate about both products. I want to refer both. If you want to be in one or the other, great. If not, hey, that's totally cool too. Mm-hmm. So it's being authentic and actually sharing. Chris has got God knows how many streams of income between businesses, investments, dream trips, all the rest of it. Most successful people have 5 streams of income. So but you've got to get one working and systemized and so forth before you can actually start the next. People who are in like 20 things, nothing works. Well, you know, they're spread too thin. So does that help you with that part of that?
Yeah. Yep. Thanks. Yep.
Awesome. And as for the second part, because a lot of people have this, you know, when they start, especially in network marketing, they don't have the success, is share someone else's story. Facts tell, stories sell. Share someone else's story until you have your own. But also, I don't know if you saw the DTI connection call yesterday. yesterday morning, Mark Smith did the best training on three-way calls that I have ever seen. It was incredible. And that's where, you know, for me, like I've been your direct sponsor, is you want to share my story and say, you know what, like you got to talk to my friend Kylie. Like, oh my gosh, she's crushing this thing. Like, she's been the top 10, like #1 global recruiter so many times we've lost count. She's been on so many dream trips. Like, she talks to the owners of the company every single week. Like, oh my gosh, like you got to jump on a call with Kylie. You absolutely love her. She's crazy. She's high energy, but hey, let's see if I can get Kylie on a call and she can answer all your questions. And then let me be the one, the expert or the person, because I haven't had the success. And that way you're just borrowing my story and getting me to support you until your people are sharing your story.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Does that help?
Yes, thank you. Sounds good.
You're most welcome. I love it. Well, thank you for sharing. Okay, Sue Cooper, you're up, beautiful woman. Oh, Sue Cooper's got a nice, oh, there you are. That was like magic. It's like you just magically appeared.
That's me. Okay, so I'm Sue Cooper. I am based in Brisbane and I'm a digital nerd. So I have been focusing on growing my other business that pays for my DTI. And I've just realised that like that's a bit stupid, isn't it? So I've had a few wins in my other life this week, which have been good. One of them, I ran a 5-day challenge. It's the first one I ever did. And the old me would have been so nervous and full of anxiety and made excuses as to why it didn't start, but started on Monday and it's now done and I'm excited to do the next one. As far as dream trips, as far as dream trips go, all right. I've had huge issues with self-belief and all of those words, and it absolutely kills me when I put information out in the public space and no one pays attention. I feel ignored. So I haven't done it so that I'm not ignored. And yeah, I don't have a solution yet. But yeah, so that's my challenge.
Oh, Sue, I just got goosebumps. This is massive for you to break through this because I'm sure that there's others that will watch the replay or perhaps even be on the call that need to have a breakthrough around this as well. So first and foremost, I acknowledge you and thank you for sharing that because this is huge. And the second thing is it's absolutely normal. It's funny. Like if you go, you pick anyone who you know is in network marketing. If you jump on their social media page, you'll see they'll share a picture of the dog, a picture of the kids, a picture of, you know, going out for lunch, and they'll have all these likes and comments, and they'll share a post about their business and crickets. There's nothing. Like, even look at my profile. Like when I was in hospital and I was sharing, like, you know, with stuff that was going on with Zach, and I share my, you know, my vulnerability and my authentic truth, and those posts get sometimes hundreds of likes and comments. You put something up about dream trips and you might get a couple. So first and foremost, it's absolutely normal. And I don't know if you remember, there was a lady she used to be my coach at the National College of Business. Her name's Real Bergen. And one of the best coaching points she ever gave me, because I used to be all about looking good and everybody loving me. And she said one day, she said, Coles, you've got to be like Teflon. Nothing sticks. Or in this business, we talk about having that rhino hide that, you know, it's like, whatever, like, you know, you just really thick-skinned and you just don't care. So I would look at, there's a story, there's something that's happened in your past where you felt hurt and ignored, and now you've put yourself in this little safe space where I'm not going to put myself out there anymore. I'm going to protect myself because I didn't like feeling hurt. So, and obviously you don't have to share that here, but happy to jump on a one-on-one call off here. Or I don't know, have you done the Landmark Forum? That's another really great space to transform that, because in the Landmark Forum, you identify what those blind spots are and those stories and all those things that are holding you back, and it allows you to just break free to be truly unstoppable and achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve in your life. So I would, for you, create a new story, a new possibility. And so that could be something like, I'm loved and supported, and it's okay, you know? And so here's the other thing. You might not be getting, we call it the silent likers. You might not be getting the likes and comments on your post, but Andy is a classic example. I didn't know Andy. I actually still don't know how we connected. It might have been the bot. But Andy reached out to me and said, hey, I've been following you on social media. I've seen, your videos. I'd like to know some more information about DreamTrips. I had no idea who Andy was. And I'm even going through how do I know this woman? Because I had been consistent and I kept showing up on social media. I probably get 2 people a day reach out to me and ask me about DreamTrips. And it's because I keep putting stuff up and people are following me. People are watching me. They may not like, they may not comment, but eventually they'll send a private message and go, Sue, I've been seeing this stuff you've been posting on DreamTrips, and I saw you're at Gari and now you're at the Whit Sundays, and oh my gosh, now you're at Sydney New Year's Eve. What is this about? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And I'm at least consciously aware now of what I'm doing to be prohibitive, and working to get over that, or working to find ways that work for me.
Yeah. And Sue, the other thing, and I know that you would not do this because this obviously goes against you, and I was the same. When I joined this 8.5 years ago, I hated network marketing. I was #1 anti-network marketer. One person came to me to try and sell me Amway, and I would chew them up and spit them out. I was nasty. Oh my goodness. So I was so conscious that I didn't want to be one of those people when I started. And so for me, I hate, the pages I'm talking about, your friends who are very vocal about their product, and every post on their page is just sell, spam, sell, spam. I just unfollow them because they don't share anything of themselves. Versus Kath and I go for our walks, and then I do stuff with my kids, and I share my life on social media because it's social media. But then my DreamTrips posts, I only share actual promo posts once or twice a week. I don't do that every day, because otherwise who would follow you? That's not adding value. So when I'm doing my social stuff, I'm obviously sharing me because we're a social platform. That's what it's about. But I'm always thinking, how could this add value to another person? And if it's just sharing and promoting in every single product, that's not adding value. That's just selling and spamming. So don't be one of those. And just share. And share from the heart. We could all jump off this call today and share, oh my goodness, I got up early on a Saturday morning, it was cold, it was dark, and I jumped on this call with our community, our mentor, and oh my goodness, it was amazing. But share your experience and what you got. And then other people are like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. What's that? I could get into that community for $1 for 30 days. Okay, well, I might jump on that and do 4 of those amazing mastermind calls that would normally be worth thousands of dollars a month if I had to pay to be part of that call. Just a different perspective, right? And sharing what you got out of it. And even you sharing, I don't know how many times I lost count, Sue Cooper, that you came up to me on that Fraser Island dream trip and said, oh my goodness, I'm having the time of my life. This is amazing.
It was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. So sharing that, right? Because that's not selling. That's sharing, because your energy and excitement will be infectious. Just now, when if you rewatch the replay, just now when you're oh my goodness, your whole face changed. You had the biggest smile. All of a sudden you were beaming because I took you back to that memory, to that place. Share that. Because people are I want some of that too, because that's missing in my life.
Cool.
Awesome. Did that help?
Yeah,
You're amazing.
for sure. Thank you.
Well, last but certainly not least, our amazing leader who's also my mentor, the amazing Chris Cummins. What
guys,
is
good
your
morning.
intro and win for the week?
I'll give you a little quick rundown about myself. I've been in business all my life. I've had a few little jobs along the way, but I'm really unemployable. I get to a stage where I
No
work for
one
other
would employ
people.
you.
I work for other people. I go, you're just doing it the wrong way, and it just really upsets me and frustrates me. So basically, all my life, I've worked either for myself or always had a side gig, always had a business. From the age of 10 was my very first business, and I used to make about $120 a month as a 10-year-old. And back when I was 10, $120 was a lot of money. I'm that old.
Call him the money man.
That's it. So I really had a really bad childhood, and I really had a lot of conflict and a lot of physical aggression towards me and all sorts of things. And as a child growing up, I always pictured myself as being somebody better, always pictured myself as being somebody a lot more patient, a lot more kinder. And I never, ever wanted to be broke, and I never, ever wanted to be unfinancial ever in my life, because that was something that I'd lived through as a child. So my goal in my whole life was to, one, learn how to make money. So that was the first thing I really pushed myself to do. And then from there, I started in different businesses, and I've had so many businesses. I've been successful in so many businesses because I hate to fail. When I start something, I give it my all. The second thing in my life that I found was really helpful is that I always turn up and try and be the person I want to be. And that's the hardest thing that I find watching some people, is that they're really uncomfortable in being themselves. You've got to be yourself. You've got to be somebody that people want to talk to. You've got to be somebody that people admire. As a leader, and I've been a leader my whole life because of business, and I've always had people working for me or people working alongside me, is that I treat them all exactly the same way as I want to be treated. I'm very conscious on motivating people. And there's a lot of times where I've been to friends and different business associates, and they'll often say to me, Chris, I really love talking to you, because every time you leave, I feel upbeat and I feel like you just bring that energy. So my thing to be successful is really just to start living and being the person you want to be. And then all of a sudden it starts to fall into place. And it might sound a little bit crazy, but it's my theory, and it's my I call it my karma rule. What I put out is exactly what I get back. I help so many people, it's crazy, and so many people help me back. So it's one of those things that it's all right to have all these educations and stuff like that, but life is really about people and about people skills. So if you can put out and help and support as many people you possibly can, guess what? They'll do the exact same. Now, you'll meet lots of people that don't, but then you do meet quite a lot of people that do. My biggest thing with joining DTI was I already have the money. I already travel once a month, 1 week a month. I already have all those things that you're all chasing to have. But the biggest thing I didn't have was you guys. And the only reason I'm here in DTI is because of you guys, because I'm traveling in 2 weeks to New Zealand, and I've already booked it. We book it every year. This year I'm going by myself, because everybody else has got to work. Everybody else is too busy to come. So my son's going to fly across for 3 or 4 days, and I might even get my brother to come across for 3 or 4 days. So basically, what I really like about DTI is actually that the fact that we can do this all together. All my experience, I'm more than happy to share with everybody, and I'm getting heaps of experience off everybody else and the way that they grow in their business. So for me, I just love doing this. My big win today, my big win this week, well, there's probably about 30 wins this week. I've had a huge week. And a lot of it is supporting you guys. And part of growing this is the more successful that I am, the more successful everybody else is going to be. So it's great to have a community that you're doing it for, and not just for yourself. I've made lots of money in my life, and I find it really easy to make money. I don't even struggle so much on making money. My biggest thing is having the family and having the people to share it with. it's one thing to have a lot of money, but it's pretty boring. I retired when I was 30. I had that much money, but had nobody to play with. So I unretired myself because I had nothing to do. So I had to go back to building other stuff just so I had something to do. So that was me for this week. I think with DreamTrips, I think you just got to start living it. So what I mean by that is my favorite show was Travel Guides. I will watch it over and over and over. Now, I've traveled the world probably more than most of you here. I've traveled the world so much. But every time I watch a travel guide show or I watch a getaway or whatever, I go, oh, I've been there, but I didn't do that. So there's so many things out there that you want to do, want to see. Now, if you start planning these seeds in your mind all the time, eventually you become the thing you're taking in. So every single time I get a chance to watch something, I'm watching travel shows. I'm putting up where I want to go, where's the next trip where we're going to build. So they're the sort of things that really motivate me. And I'm up first thing in the morning. I'm always first one up. I'm always motivated, always switched on, usually the last one to bed as well. And I can achieve more in one day than most people, but it's because I have that mindset that I want to get this done. I've got to get this done. I want that done. I want that done. So a bit of discipline, and that's pretty much me.
Oh my goodness. I love listening to you. You're amazing, Chris Cummins.
Thank you.
And I want to acknowledge you, babe, like for your heart and your servant leadership, because this week has been massive, not just with DreamTrips, but with our other business outside of this. And I don't know if you guys have seen or read the book, Cash Flow Quadrant, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I know Chris has done a lot of work and studying in this area around mindset, but also learning how to get financially free. And so you've got your cash flow quadrant, which if you think of your four, you've got employees and self-employed on the left-hand side, which is 97% of the population, 3% on the right side, which is business and investing. And the 3% on the right-hand side of that quadrant who are business owners and investors, guess what? They control or have 97% of all of the wealth and money in the entire world. So the 97% of people who are employed and self-employed on the left-hand side, they have 3% of all of the money and worldwide wealth in the world. So you got to ask yourself, where do you want to be? Do you want to be on the left-hand side with all of those people with the small amount of money? Or do you want to leap across to the right-hand side, get out of the rat race? And there's a game called Cash Flow that you can, I don't even know if you can sell it, if they sell it anymore, but it's kind of like
they sell it online. I just bought one. They've got an upgraded version as well.
Amazing. So it's kind of like the adults version of Monopoly, but it teaches you. And so when you're on the left-hand side, you can only do little deals. But then when you get out of the rat race and you're a B and an I on the right-hand side, you get access to big deals. And it's and the right-hand side is all about leverage. It's making a system work for you to create income. And then it's making your money work for you by investing it to get more money back. And Chris has absolutely cracked that code. And what he's done is he's invited a whole bunch of us, well, not a whole bunch because it's a limited group, to come across into that right-hand side. And he's helping so many people to be able to get access to that right-hand side that most people don't have. And the people that we've helped this week, like, it just makes my heart sing, because it's allowing people on the left-hand side to get access to those big deals that are normally only available on the right-hand side. So Chris, I just want to say publicly thank you, because I really loved your share today. And I felt the same when I was building DreamTrips prior to COVID, and Kath was one of these people. I remember I'd, got to a level in the business and I was doing all these trips and I'd met lots of great people through DreamTrips, but I didn't have like my best friends on those trips with me. I didn't have my family on those trips with me. And I also felt really alone. And that's why I love DreamTrips. I don't want to travel alone. I want to travel with my friends. I want to hang out with really cool, fun, happy, positive, high vibe people. And that's what DreamTrips is all about. So Chris, thank you for being in my life. Thank you for being the beautiful human that you are in helping all of us. And just so grateful to be on this journey with you, but also with everybody who's on this call live and catching the replay. So guys, I know that we've gone over today. Thank you for being online with us today, and just absolutely love and appreciate you. Remember, each Tuesday night, our next call is Travel Tuesday, but once a month, we also have our DTA. It's our DreamTrips Academy, DreamTrips University, where you get to jump online. And, you know, in the old days in network marketing, we'd go to a live event and, you know, you'd all kind of hang out. Well, now we do it online, so you can do it from the comfort of your own home. For us Aussies, it starts at midnight, goes to 3 a.m. I know it's ridiculous, it's crazy, but guess what? You can be in your jammies, in your dressing gown, you can have your tea or your coffee snuggled up with the dog on your lap. And I will be one of the trainers. I'm so excited to be doing that tonight. So I'll pop all of those details into our chat. It is recorded, so you don't have to be up at crazy hour. But remember, the beginning of this call, we talked about who you're being. And Chris talked about who are you being. Well, you want to look at who are the successful leaders in the company, because success leaves clues, and copy what they're doing. Well, guess what? The successful leaders in our team are going to be up in the middle of the night on that call, because we know when you're there live, something magical happens. So I will be there live. If you're there, let me know and I'll make sure that I give you a shout out on the call. But if you catch the replay, hey, totally cool too. So guys, have an amazing weekend being who you need to be to have the success that your heart desires. So love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Love you all.